We apologize for this interruption in your regularly scheduled programming. This is a local area emergency. Further information will follow after the tones. This is a civil danger warning issued at the request of the Seattle Police Department. Around 15 minutes ago, 3 masked gunmen stormed Seattle City Hall and have taken the occupants of the building hostage. At this time, the mayor, along with 2 Seattle judges, a representative from the Department of Homeland Security, and the governor have all been confirmed to be present, and at this time, the gunmen have communicated with police whom arrived on the scene 5 minutes ago that for every half hour that their demands are not met, they will execute 1 hostage, beginning with the governor. While their demands are known to civil authorities, they cannot be disclosed to the public. At this time, the Seattle Police Department are requesting that all citizens hearing this message within 5 city blocks of Seattle City Hall evacuate the area at this time and that no one enters said area for any reason. This civil danger warning is in effect for the city of Seattle, and if the situation expands outside of the city, another warning will be issued via the emergency notification system when or if needed. This is the emergency notification system serving the Seattle area. If you are not in this local area, please tune to a station providing news and emergency information for your local area. The emergency notification system has been activated. This is an administrative message from the Seattle Police Department. Around 10 minutes ago, the Seattle Police Department have reported that there is heavy movement on the roof of Seattle City Hall. At this time, it appears that the terrorists are assembling a communications device of some sort, and at this time, it is unknown whether this device is a line of communication with accomplices. In addition, as many as 10 additional terrorists have been spotted inside of the City Hall, as it appears that some of the civilians visiting City Hall today were in fact accomplices to the terrorists. While the terrorists' first deadline will be reached in 5 minutes, there have not been any attempts to communicate with police and civil authorities since their initial demands were supplied, and at this time, it appears that the terrorists are not going to have their demands fulfilled by the first deadline. For this reason, Lieutenant Governor Matthew Caldwell has ordered that the National Guard mobilize and move in on Seattle City Hall and attempt to quell the situation. For this reason, a shelter-in-place warning may be required for all areas within 5 city blocks of City Hall should a conflict occur between the Washington National Guard and the terrorists. Such a warning will be transmitted when needed. This is the emergency notification system serving the Seattle area. If you are not in this local area, please tune to a station providing news and emergency information for your local area. The emergency notification system has been activated. This is a shelter-in-place warning issued at the request of the Seattle Police Department and the Office of the Governor. This warning will remain in effect until further notice and will be enforced throughout the entire city of Seattle. Around 2 minutes ago, the first deadline set by the terrorists was reached. At this time, the communications array was activated and a video feed was established between the terrorists and the Seattle Police Department's Emergency Operations Center. The terrorists stated that the indecisiveness of the Seattle Police Department and other government authorities they had left them no choice and then proceeded to execute the governor. At this time, the governor is presumed dead, and as such, Lieutenant Governor Matthew Caldwell has been appointed as governor of the state of Washington. Immediately after officially taking office, he ordered a raid of Seattle City Hall by the newly arrived battalions of the Washington National Guard. However, this raid was unsuccessful and there is currently a firefight occurring between the terrorists and a battalion of the Washington National Guard. For this reason, Governor Matthew Caldwell has instituted martial law in the entire city of Seattle and is ordering that no one exit their homes or current locations for any reason until martial law has been lifted for the city. During this period, all civil liberties have been revoked, and the Washington National Guard, as well as the United States military, will begin to take control of the situation. If you are caught outside during this period of martial law, you will be arrested immediately with no counsel and may be shot by civil authorities. For this reason, a shelter-in-place order is now in effect, and no one is to leave their homes. Further information on this ongoing crisis will be issued when it becomes available. This is the emergency notification system serving the Seattle area. If you are not in this local area, please tune to a station providing news and emergency information for your local area. The emergency notification system has been activated. We interrupt regularly scheduled programming at the request of the governor's office. This is a statewide emergency. Governor Matthew Caldwell has issued an emergency action notification for the entire state of Washington, effective until further notice. At approximately 12:45 p.m. this afternoon, calls from the Spokane City Hall, Vancouver City Hall, Olympia City Hall, and many other city halls throughout the state, as well as the state capitol, that terrorist cells have now begun to breach government buildings, and at this time, it appears that the terrorist cell, now identified as the Servants of Eden, have begun attempting a coup against the state government of Washington. At this time, the main cell located in Seattle City Hall have reportedly eliminated all members of the Washington National Guard who were sent there to attempt to end the hostage situation, and at this time, have reportedly begun talks with the mayor about a resolution to the situation, which would result in the leader of this terrorist cell, whom has been identified as 47-year-old Jacob Fugelman, taking full control over the city government of Seattle. At this time, the earlier mentioned forces, whom have entered multiple city halls throughout the state, have begun to execute unwilling officials, and at this time, it would appear that they are trying to take control over their respective cities. These additional cells have been reported as being heavily armed, with reports of RPGs, light machine guns, and even military androids being in their possession. At this time, the time has come for the government of the state of Washington to request assistance from the United States military. For this reason, and the believed threat of further coup attempts throughout the state, as well as in the capital, the martial law order which has been in effect in the city of Seattle has been expanded to include the entirety of the state of Washington. No citizens are to exit their current dwellings for any reason, unless ordered by the United States government. If you are in a city with a population of over 100,000, please seek the lowest floor of your current location. To drivers on the road, you will be granted the ability to travel home, and only to travel home. If you are displaced in the state of Washington, please seek the nearest bomb shelter or public residence and remain there until the attempted coup has been terminated. Do not attempt to assist these terrorists. Lethal force has been authorized to all civil authorities as of 2 p.m. today for the immediate execution of all suspected terrorists and anyone whom they determine is a threat to the state of Washington. United States military troops are expected within the next 6 hours and will begin patrolling the streets and eliminating any suspected threats to the government of the state of Washington, as well as the United States. Further information on this ongoing crisis will be issued when it becomes available. This is the emergency notification system serving the Spokane area. If you are not in this local area, please tune to a station providing news and emergency information for your local area. The emergency notification system has been activated.
This is the Spokane Emergency Operations Center. To all hearing this message, the state is under attack. I repeat, the state is under attack. As you have just heard, a terrorist cell, now identified as the Servants of Eden, have launched an attack on the government of the city of Spokane and the state of Washington. At this time, officers are en route to the Spokane City Hall, where it has been confirmed at least 45 members of the Servants of Eden have stormed City Hall and begun to execute non-essential persons in the building. At this time, the mayor has been confirmed to be safe and is currently being held hostage by the Servants of Eden, who are demanding control of the city to be handed over to them. We would like to ask all persons hearing this message to seek the lowest and most secure location of your home and prepare for the worst. Martial law is in effect, and as of 2 p.m., lethal force will be authorized in the city. At this time, we have deployed 15 Eden Corporation peacekeeper androids to the City Hall, and they will attempt to resolve this coup attempt. Do not exit your homes. This has been a local update from the Spokane Police Department Emergency Operations Center. We now return you to the emergency notification system.
Regularly scheduled programming at the request of the White House. This is a national emergency. Information on this situation will follow the tones. This is an emergency action notification issued at the request of the White House. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. At approximately 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time this evening, an ongoing situation in the state of Washington has reached a knife's edge. At this time, it has been reported that all appointed government officials, as well as an overwhelming majority of civil and military authorities, have been executed, and that all control over the state of Washington has been taken by the terrorist cell known as the Servants of Eden. The Servants of Eden have since taken control of the Hanford nuclear launch facility, and 5 nuclear launches have been detected. This country is under attack. I repeat, this country is under attack. At this time, the following locations have been determined as targets for this attack: San Francisco, California; Washington, D.C., Tokyo, Japan; London, England; and Sydney, Australia. At this time, the U.S.-bound missiles are expected to impact their targets in less than 15 minutes, while the overseas targets are expected to be impacted within the hour. At this time, the Servants of Eden, whom have now been revealed to have ties to both the Chinese government as well as the militia group the Disciples of Prescott, have also begun launching air raid attacks on the United States, as well as having sleeper agents around the country begin to converge on major governmental buildings and are attempting to take control of the United States. At this time, all regularly scheduled programming has been discontinued for an indefinite period, with only news and emergency notification system broadcasting being allowed to continue during this emergency. This alert pertains to the state of California. As a nuclear missile in the range of 50 kilotons is en route to the city of San Francisco, you must take the following actions. Seek your nearest fallout or bomb shelter and prepare for a lengthy stay in your shelter, at minimum, lasting 14 days. The state will be impacted by fallout following missile impact. Fallout is a byproduct of nuclear disasters, and if you are exposed to fallout for an extended period of time, will lead to certain death. Fallout is invisible and will also cause cancer to those exposed for short periods of time. For your safety, you are asked to do the following. Gather essential supplies to last you and your family at least 14 days, including but not limited to bottled water, non-perishable food, a battery-powered radio with extra batteries, and medical supplies. If you have a loved one who is currently in a location different than your own, do not attempt to reach them. Facilities, both civilian and governmental, have protocols in place for situations such as these. Once the crisis has ended, you will be able to be reunited with loved ones. In the hours and days following a nuclear detonation, temperatures will fluctuate and may result in fallout being spread in the air. This may appear to be snow, but remember, if you see snow, go inside your home. Turn off all heating and ventilation systems and barricade yourself from the outside world. When the missile impacts, there will be multiple signs: a loud cavalcade of sound and a blinding flash of light. Do not look in the direction of San Francisco. Exposure to the brilliant flash produced by a nuclear detonation can cause permanent blindness, and extended exposure to the cavalcade of sound can cause temporary or permanent hearing loss. Further information on this national emergency is incoming. Please stay tuned for a message from a representative of the President.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
My fellow Americans, it is with a heavy heart that I announce to you that as of 6 p.m. Pacific time today, the United States is under attack, but not by a rampaging tyrant dead set on wiping out the one true nation under God, but by our own citizens who claim to serve something they call Eden. At this time, these terrorists have gotten control of a nuclear launch facility in Hanford, Washington, and have launched 5 nuclear missiles at this time, with 2 being aimed at our own country. These individuals have taken control of the government of Washington, and after speaking with my aides, I'm officially declaring that the state of Washington is no longer a part of the United States of America. To my friends and allies across the world who may hear this speech, please know that the United States has as much to lose from this terrifying ordeal as you do, and we have lost one of our most beloved states to domestic terrorists serving some false god. At this time, I am placing the entirety of the West Coast under martial law, effective immediately. Seek a fallout or bomb shelter and remain there until the imposition of martial law is lifted, and to civilians who wish to enter the United States who are trapped in Washington, you will be allowed to do so for the next 48 hours. At that time, we plan to permanently seal the borders between Washington and our nation, as well as Canada, to hopefully kill off the terrorists with little to no civilian casualties. However, if you willingly stay in Washington past this 48-hour deadline, your United States citizenship will be revoked without question, and you will be placed on the no-entry list. So to the terrorists who think they have won, know that the United States stands for 2 things: liberty and justice for all. And we shall swoop down with our hands of justice and smite thee with the power of God. May God save the damned souls of those who are in New Washington, and may God bless the United States of
Hello, citizens of the United States. We are the servants of Eden. We are a militia group which is interested in one thing and one thing only: justice. Justice for all, and justice for those who cannot attain any. Your government calls us terrorists, and your lines see us as monsters who have no other purpose than to destroy. And while we seek to destroy, we only seek to destroy the true evil. The one evil that can not only destroy the United States, but our beautiful blue and green utopia we call Earth. Here humanity has had infinite freedom to experiment in any form, for thousands of years. We serve to stop the ongoing experiment which our targets are perpetuating as we speak. The United States in 1938 discovered in the Mojave Desert that an extraterrestrial object had landed on our planet, and that it contained a virus which, when exposed to human DNA and humans in general, granted the exposed fantastical powers. In 1948, the Eden Corporation was established and began developing an antiviral agent to be transmitted to all civilians via the water supply, which would prevent the side effects of exposure. But in 1949, when they attempted to go ahead with their plans, the United States government killed everyone involved with the antiviral project and instead have been feeding the public water which contains untraceable amounts of the virus itself. We have decided that enough is enough, and we plan to finish what the Eden Corporation started. Currently there are facilities in Sydney, Tokyo, Los Angeles, London and Washington DC containing the only known supplies of this virus, and we are neutralizing both cities in order to prevent anyone from having to become the monsters we were born as. We are taking control of the government to prevent any further production or attempts to kill the citizens of the world by this corrupt government cell. We will transmit updated information in 8 days. This has been a message from the servants of Eden. We now return you to your regularly scheduled government misinformation.
The following message has been transmitted for your protection. We told you all that in 8 days, we would reconnect with you all to bring forth our plans for the future of our country, and not only that, but the future of our planet. Since nuclear impact has taken place, we can report that all virus production facilities have been destroyed, and we would like to apologize for our actions when it comes to the human toll it has taken. We never wanted to kill innocent civilians, but in the greater scheme of things, this was an acceptable alternative to what the United States government and their accomplices had planned for you all. At this time, we would like to update you on the current situation since we have taken power. First and foremost, we wish for a better planet. And for that reason we have no intention of stripping the population of their existing rights. All pre-existing legislative measures will remain in effect for the foreseeable future, such as your constitution and your freedoms you have lived with for as long as we all can remember. However, we have noticed that some of you are attacking our troops who are attempting to assist you in these trying times. For this reason, we are now issuing that all citizens of this new republic, the North American Federation, seek immediate shelter as those who wish to remain shackled to the ankles of murderers who falsely claim to serve the greater good, have begun rioting in the streets and attempting to remove our units from office. We understand that this change of rule is not easy, but we assure you that it is what is needed for the future of our new nation, our better nation. And while right now we are all alone, and only control the Washington state area, we will expand and bring truth and enlightenment to those who seek it. And to those who do not wish to seek the saviors who can liberate them from the chains of so-called democracy. Martial law will be in place and our troops will be patrolling the Federation to ensure that you are well fed, maintain electricity and clean, unaltered running water, and to ensure you are not resisting our rule. Until we speak again, there will be a Federation-wide communications blackout. This blackout will commence immediately. Goodbye for now, and God bless the North American Federation.
The following is a severe weather bulletin. The National Weather Service in Wallace has issued a tornado warning for the following counties. In northwestern Idaho, all of Kootenai County, all of Boner County, and northern Shoshone County. Until 5:15 p.m. today. At 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, trained weather spotters located a tornado on the ground in Sandpoint, Idaho, moving southeast at 75 miles per hour. We repeat, a tornado is on the ground. Seek shelter now. Gather a battery-powered radio and seek the lowest floor of your home or a sturdy building. If you do not have a basement or underground portion of your current location, go to the most secure location in the structure and attempt to barricade yourself from the outside world. This room should have no windows. Weather spotters reported that this tornado is estimated to have hurricane-strength winds and is approximately 2 miles wide. Due to this, you need to take immediate shelter at once. If you are on the road, pull over and seek shelter in the nearest ditch or low-lying area. Cars are being reportedly thrown like toys by this tornado, and if you remain in your vehicle and are intercepted by this tornado, you face almost certain death. Hail of up to softball size is also being reported with this storm. Following the storm, power outages and massive damage to persons and property is expected. Please remain in your homes until given the all-clear by civil authorities. This is the National Weather Service in Wallace, Idaho with a tornado warning for the counties of Kootenai, Boner, and northwestern Shoshone County. This message will repeat. This is the emergency notification system serving the Wallace area. If you are not in this local area, please tune to a station providing emergency information for your local area. The emergency notification system has been activated. We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this administrative message from the Idaho Department of Investigation. This is a potentially dangerous situation. 45 minutes ago, calls began to flood all of the state of Idaho's emergency operations centers, and at this time, the Idaho Department of Investigation believes that these calls all originated from a singular location in the city of Wallace, Idaho. However, upon attempting to contact emergency services in the city, have come back with a singular message: the savior approaches. At this time, it is unknown how seemingly every phone in the city have come back with the same message, and all attempts to contact anyone in the city have been futile. At this time, the governor has ordered that the Federal Emergency Management Agency, along with the Idaho National Guard, enter the city of Wallace in an attempt to assess the situation. The city is expected to have experienced severe damage from a tornado which passed through the area 2 hours ago, and at this time, there is no immediate danger to the general public. However, it is believed that a bigger situation may be taking place in the city. For this reason, please stay tuned for updates on this strange situation. This is the emergency notification system. This is an evacuation order for the following locations. In Idaho, all of Shoshone County. Around 1 hour ago, FEMA officials along with members of the Idaho National Guard arrived in the city of Wallace, Idaho in the hopes of assessing storm damage, as well as attempting to locate the originating signal of the calls which flooded emergency operations centers across the state this evening, but have discovered a mysteriously disturbing situation. Upon arriving in the city of Wallace, they discovered something terrifying. Nothing. It appears that the entire city of Wallace, Idaho has been flattened, and no structures, persons, or pets are in what used to be the city of Wallace. At this time, National Weather Service officials are attempting to rationalize this seemingly impossible situation. Furthermore, something even more strange was found. Only one resident of Wallace was located alive and was found approximately 10 minutes ago, wandering the streets of Idaho City, Idaho. It is unknown how the individual, identified as 17-year-old Kyler Matthews, was found alive so far away from home, as she has no driver's license on record and was in a near catatonic state. When authorities spotted her attempting to break into a pharmacy, she was found bloodied, with her left leg being noted as metallic in structure, along with both her hands. She simply stated to authorities, "The savior is coming." It is unknown who Kyler Matthews was referring to and the status of her family. At this time, it is believed that other cities in Shoshone County may be experiencing the same phenomena as Wallace, and at this time, any residents of Shoshone County are asked to immediately leave the county and seek the nearest bordering county and report to civil authorities with any information on what may have happened during the severe weather which took place this evening. Again, any residents of Shoshone County hearing this message, leave the county at once and report to civil authorities in the following locations. If you reside in northern Shoshone County, please evacuate to Kootenai Boner County at once and report to the first civil authorities you see to report you are safe and to report your experience during this evening's severe weather outbreak. If you are in southern Shoshone County, please evacuate to Clearwater Latta or Benua County and report your experience during this evening's severe weather outbreak and that you are safe. If you are outside of Shoshone County and are hearing this message, do not come to Shoshone County. I repeat, do not come to Shoshone County. This is an evacuation order for Shoshone County. This is the emergency notification system serving the Pinehurst area. If you are not in this local area, tune to a station providing information for your local area. The emergency notification system has been activated. This is the emergency notification system. This is a civil danger warning for the following location. In Idaho, Boise. Around 30 minutes ago, multiple 911 calls were received emanating from St. Luke's Medical Center in Boise, Idaho, that an unknown individual had entered the hospital and begun killing anyone they saw. Upon arriving at St. Luke's 10 minutes later, authorities reported that all of the occupants of the hospital were deceased, with their heads missing. It appears that the assailant reported via 911 calls somehow caused victims' heads to, in fact, explode. At this time, authorities reported that, while they saw the assailant for a brief moment, the assailant has disappeared without a trace and is believed to be roaming the streets of Boise. If you are in the city of Boise, Idaho, take the following actions. If you spot an individual with the following features: fully metallic arms and legs and blood red hair, call 911 from a concealed location and speak at a low volume. Do not allow this individual to detect you, as it is believed they will kill you on sight. In addition, all citizens are asked to remain off of the streets to limit possible casualties. Further information on this situation is known but cannot be disclosed to the public at this time, but is expected to be released within the next 30 to 45 minutes. Please stay tuned for further information on this dangerous situation.
From rocks and creeks and stones, I can't afford to go home.
This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. This is a shelter-in-place warning for the following areas. In Idaho, the entire state of Idaho. In Oregon, the entire state of Oregon. In Nevada, the entire state of Nevada. This shelter-in-place order will remain in effect until further notice. The following message has been ordered for immediate transmission by the United States government in conjunction with the Orion Corporation, the Department of Defense, and the Federal Bureau of Investigations. The information contained in this warning pertains to extremely dangerous individuals who have been spotted throughout the states of Idaho, Oregon, and Nevada. Around 8 months ago, in the state of Washington, a terrorist cell known as the Servants of Eden took control of the state, including nuclear launch facilities, launched an attack on the free world, and killed over 10 million civilians in the process. The Federal Bureau of Investigations 10 days after that overheard on, at the time, unsecured, public transmission outlets that Project PRIMUS was being prepped for launch. At the time, all that was known about Project PRIMUS was that it was developed by Dr. Jacob Matthews in 1997, and that very little was disclosed about the project before the Eden Corporation's closure and absorption into the Orion Corporation in 2000. At that time, all in-progress Eden Corporation contracts, including the PRIMUS project, were suspended and until 8 months ago, was believed to have never been completed. However, upon investigation by undercover agents embedded within the North American Federation, it was discovered that it had in fact been moved into the city of Spokane, Washington, and 2 months ago, said agents confirmed that the PRIMUS project had, in fact, been completed. At this time, the following information about the PRIMUS project has been cleared for public release, as it contains information vital to your survival. The PRIMUS project was a genetic experiment on children who were abandoned by their parents and were adopted by Dr. Jacob Matthews. They were then genetically modified in order to grant them fantastical powers, which, while seeming like fiction, are no joke. For listeners in the state of Idaho, the following individual, known to authorities as Subject 00, has been spotted around the state of Idaho along with his accomplice, known as Subject 0. Subject 0 and 00 can be identified by the following physical abnormalities. Both subjects do not have organic arms, as both feature metallic arms, which contain an unknown amount of weapons contained in them, including, but not limited to, ballistic automatic firing capabilities, energy shields, which when deployed cannot be penetrated by any form of conventional weapons, and at this time are unneutralizable, and an unknown weapon which when fired, can emit a blast equal to a small nuclear weapon, which was used in the city of Sandpoint, Ohio. In addition, Subject 0 has the ability, though it is unknown how, to manipulate weather and can control it at her will. Other physical traits are as follows: glowing red eyes, Caucasian skin, and the following hair for each subject. For Subject 00, jet black hair extending down to the waist. And for Subject 0, light pink hair which extends to elbow height. These individuals have already claimed over 400,000 lives and are still on the loose in the state of Idaho. Please seek immediate shelter now and do not allow yourself to be visible to the outside world. United States National Guard will be entering the state to combat these individuals in conjunction with specialists from the Orion Corporation. Around 20 minutes ago, in Las Vegas, Nevada, police reported that 3 unknown individuals had stormed the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino and had begun killing everyone in their sights. Upon arriving on site 5 minutes following the 911 call, police discovered that 3 teenagers, seemingly being victims, were laying in a sea of bodies on the main floor of the casino. However, upon approaching these individuals, were met with immediate hostility, with dispatchers hearing officers screaming for their loved ones and praying for forgiveness. At this time, the 3 individuals, whom are the only named subjects, have begun embarking on a rampage across the Las Vegas area. These individuals can be identified as follows and have the following known powers. Spotted near the Las Vegas Strip, 19-year-old Sage Matthews. Sage is a Caucasian female and has the ability to be invulnerable to all means of attack, and also has the abilities of flight, heat vision, and has been spotted causing police androids to turn on their masters and can bend them to her will. She is considered the leader of the group. Spotted near the Luxor Hotel, 16-year-old Matthew Matthews. Matthew is a Caucasian male and has the ability to emit radiation from his body, which within seconds kills anyone within 500 feet of his person, and is also invulnerable to conventional means of attack. Finally, spotted near the Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area, is 17-year-old Jenny Blank. Jenny is an Asian female, standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, and currently is showing no hostility, but is considered the most dangerous member of the group. She is reported to have the ability to cause natural disasters at her will, has superhuman speed, and can travel at the speed of sound, and can fly. She is currently in a standoff with officials and is threatening to cause an eruption of the Yellowstone supervolcano. For this reason, all residents of the state of Nevada need to seek immediate shelter at once. Do not allow yourself to be seen. Members of the Orion Corporation along with military forces and a classified individual are attempting to resolve the situation as soon and as safely as possible. Finally, at this time, over 15 individuals who have been identified as subjects who are involved in the PRIMUS program, along with around 100,000 troops, have begun invading the state of Oregon, killing anyone resisting or holding a position of power. Unfortunately, an additional 300,000 troops are reportedly en route into the state, and at this time, it appears that the North American Federation is attempting to invade and seize control of the state of Oregon. At this time, if you are in the state of Oregon, seek immediate shelter, and if you are confronted by members of the North American Federation, do not resist, as it will lead to your certain death. If military forces are unable to repel these forces, the United States government may need to launch a tactical nuclear strike against the North American Federation, as well as the state of Nevada, to prevent the seemingly inevitable advance of troops into the state of California as well. At this time, a shelter-in-place warning has been issued for the indicated states due to catastrophic danger being present in those states at this time. If you happen to be hearing this and are in a state bordering Idaho, Nevada, or Oregon, please strongly consider evacuating further inland of the United States, or if possible, seek refuge in Canada or Mexico. In an emergency call with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of Canada and Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, the borders into Canada extending into the Midwest, with a cut-off of the Upper Peninsula Canada border, and all Mexican border locations have been given authority to allow all civilians who would like to evacuate the United States temporary harbor in their nations without a need for proof of passport of respective citizenship. This agreement will remain in effect for the next 72 hours, and at such time, it will be assessed again if the agreement should be extended. Again, if you are in a state bordering Idaho, Nevada, or Oregon, consider evacuating further inland of the United States, or if you wish to do so, seek refuge in Canada or Mexico. A representative of the United States government will be making a national address in approximately 3 hours on all broadcast stations. Stay tuned for this message. This is the emergency notification system serving the Portland area. If you are not in this local area, please tune to